Welcome to the Holiday and Cruise Clinic. I'm Jemma Gofton with another edition of the programme that aims to make your next cruise or holiday as problem-free and relaxing as possible. So, if you have a holiday, cruise or travel-related question, here's how to get in touch. To leave a question on our viewer hotline, call 0871 423 4444. Calls cost 10p a minute from a BT landline and calls from other networks and mobiles may vary. Write on our Facebook wall or tweet us, just search Holiday and Cruise Channel. Send a message through our website www.holidayandcruisechannel.co.uk/clinic or write to us at the Holiday and Cruise Channel, Cavendish House, Brighton Road, Liverpool, L22 5NG. Now in today's programme we're looking at something a little bit different, sightseeing tours. How do you fancy making the most of a Las Vegas visit? By exploring the Strip at night or going further afield to natural attractions like the Valley of Fire and the Grand Canyon, where you can take in the picturesque scenery all from the comfort of a helicopter. Well, Maverick Aviation prides itself in being the only true VIP helicopter excursion company in Las Vegas. And here to tell us more is Duncan McCubbin from Maverick Aviation Group. Now, I've actually had a little helicopter ride. It's quite exciting. But let's get to the questions. Yep. It's not about me. Where are you based?
Maverick are based in Vegas, obviously, on the Strip, right at the end, basically behind the Welcome to Vegas sign. So a great location on the Strip. We're also going to be opening up in Hawaii fairly soon. So we're two-centre location.
And who are you as a company? What's the history?
It's very much a family-owned company. The owners still manage it on a day-by-day basis, trading for over 20 years now. Started off with one helicopter and have built it up over the last 20 years to just under 50 helicopters.
And how big are you as a company?
Well, as I say, we now have nearly 50 helicopters. We also have some aeroplanes as well that we use for different tours that we operate. So we carry, to put it in perspective of numbers, we carry around 250, 260,000 passengers a year on different helicopter trips and excursions that we operate.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
And what's the philosophy behind the company?
Basically, the way Maverick look at everything is that obviously safety is paramount. That is the most important thing. But then it's really giving the client, giving the customer an experience that they will come back with that they will never forget. And hopefully, if they remember the experience, they remember the fact that it was with Maverick. But it really is about giving the client something special and giving them something quite unique.
Well, when you say truly VIP, what sets you aside from the other companies that do this? What makes it truly VIP?
We look at all the little bits that go together, and when you put all the little bits together to make the experience something special. So, for example, all our vehicles that we transfer people in, or our helicopters have full leather interior, all individual seating. We pick the best helicopters that we can get. We are on strips so that you go straight from your hotel to an on-strip location. You're not sort of driving out of town to get to your departure point. And then we choose places, our landing sites very carefully. Certainly in the canyon, we pick a site that means that we are the furthest from Vegas, but it's the quietest environment once we turn the engines off on the helicopter. So it's lots of little things that add up to make the experience a good one. Well,
I'm starting at the very beginning from when so when you say you're on the Strip, do we go out on, obviously we don't take off the Strip, but so you go from your hotel to the location and you get an amazing view, I guess, of the Strip?
You do. As soon, we pick you up from the hotel on the Strip, we take you to our heli base, and then as you leave from there, yes, you fly along the Strip, so you get to see the Strip in all its glory, and then we head out to the Grand Canyon from there, if you're on a Grand Canyon tour, because we do just do Strip-only flights where you can fly up and down the Strip, sort of 15, 20 minutes tour. And
I have to say, I did do a helicopter tour down the Strip.
Right.
And it's like being in a film. It's like what you see in the movies, isn't it?
It is. It is totally. It is. And I mean, if you do it at night as well, when all the lights are on and everything's lit up, it is quite spectacular. And it is as you see it in whatever film you may have seen it in.
It was an experience, I have to say. And so we've been picked up. We've done the Strip. We're heading out to the Grand Canyon. Yep. What are we going to see en route to the Grand Canyon?
On our most popular tour, then you'll go out over Hoover Dam and Lake Mead, so you'll get to see the Hoover Dam. You go out over Lake Mead, so you're taking in the sheer scale of of everything that is that part of the USA. And then you fly into the canyon, and the last 15 minutes of your flight, you're actually below the canyon rim, so you get an idea of the scale and the depth of where you're actually going to be.
And when you get to the Grand Canyon, do you land? Do you have a chance to look round? Or
we do various tours, some that do land at the base of the canyon and some that don't, depending on what customers' requirements are. The most popular tour, yes, you land at the base of the canyon and we give you a little bit of time on the canyon base.
And I think people will be astounded as to how deep and big the Grand Canyon truly is.
I don't think until you see it,
No.
you can have any appreciation of the scale of the Grand Canyon. It is huge. And the depth of it. We land, actually our landing site is the deepest into the canyon that you can land, and we're only a couple of 100 feet above the Colorado River, but we are as deep as you can possibly land in the canyon.
It is amazing. So if we're booking with you, how does going in one of your helicopters enhance an already amazing experience?
I think, as I was saying earlier, we do lots of little things that are different. Obviously, as I mentioned before, we take safety very seriously. So we employ pilots who also do the narration. So there's no pre-recorded audio. The pilot is talking to you about what you're seeing, what you're experiencing. Because we have voice-activated headsets, you can ask the pilot a question, he can talk to you about the answer. You can talk to other people that may be in your group or within the helicopter. So it's very much an interactive experience. And at the same time, that's being recorded for you so that you can share that with your friends when you get home. And equally, if you've been with a partner who's been a bit of a wuss or something over it, you can share that with his friends or her friends when you get back. So it's about making it a very personal experience.
And how far is the Grand Canyon from Las Vegas? How long will we be in the helicopter for?
It's about a 45-minute flight from leaving the Strip location to landing at the base of the canyon.
And when you get to the Grand Canyon, you have some time to have a look round yourself and everything. And then when you're flying back, I guess it's the same route and you go the Strip again?
Correct.
Fabulous.
Yes.
OK, you mentioned planes as well.
Yes.
What can we do in these planes? Where can we go?
We have two sizes of aircraft. We have a Cessna, which is a smaller plane, and we use that for those passengers who want to experience the Grand Canyon from the air but don't want to get into a helicopter, because there are some people who have this aversion to helicopters. So we have the aircraft, this Cessna, that we use to do air tours that give people the chance to see the canyon from the air without doing it in a helicopter. Then we have a larger Beechcraft aeroplane that we use to fly to the South Rim, because we do excursions from the South Rim.
What's over there?
Basically, it's just a different part of the canyon. It's a lot wider down there. It's a lot more diverse. Some people say it's more dramatic and it's a better view of the canyon, but that's everybody's personal taste or opinion. But we use the aeroplanes to fly you down there if you're based in Vegas, so that you can pick up a helicopter tour and do a tour there and then fly back to Vegas in the plane afterwards.
What for those who might want to know, it's interesting to know about the planes, what type of helicopters are there?
All our fleets are exactly the same. They're an EcoStar, which is part of the Airbus corporation, so it's a well-known brand. It's one of the only helicopters that was designed primarily for tourism. And then we've worked very closely with the manufacturers on making sure that certain things fit the needs of our passengers. So we have the glass is very heavily tinted, but it's not tinted in a way where if you take a photograph, you take a reflection of yourself, you will take a photograph of what you're seeing. So we've worked very closely with the people, manufacturers, on things like that, just to make sure that it's the detail again. And
you mentioned about people who might not like helicopters, might be a little bit nervous. Has that happened where somebody's just said, I can't do it, I'm not getting in?
It has happened. It doesn't happen very often, but it has happened, and we would never force anyone to take the flight. If they were really that scared or upset about it, we would never force anyone to take it. We would just work with them on an alternative or how we get around that. I
guess your pilots are quite well trained in making people relax.
Yeah, our pilots are. We take a lot of time on choosing our pilots. We look for pilots who've had the right training, the right experience, got a personality to deliver the narration properly and play the sound that goes with that, the music that goes with the tour as well. And it's a very important part of our whole experience. And the pilots are the ones who meet the client on arrival, talk them through the health and safety briefing before they depart, and get to understand what they want to get out of the trip, so they get the maximum from it.
What I would say is, you just jogged my memory there actually, because it is a very serious process when you first walk in. to filling in all the paperwork, isn't it? And you've got to take the right identification, and you've got to take it all very seriously, and have the safety briefing as well. And then the fun starts after that.
Correct. Yeah. You know, you've got to have a little bit of not inconvenience, but a little bit of paperwork to go through to make sure you get the right trip. And we take that very seriously. And
And the most frightening thing for me was that you had to be weighed. We're having a break, bear with me. Now, bit of a jump, but if you're new to cruising and you like the sound of a trip to Las Vegas, then why not combine it with a cruise holiday? Then this is our first time guide to cruise holidays, and it's well worth requesting. It's absolutely free. Just give us a call, 0871 423 4444. Now, calls will cost 10p a minute from a BT landline, and other networks and mobiles may just vary. You can also ask for a copy through our website, www.holidayandcruisechannel.co.uk. And whilst you're asking for this, we'll take a quick break. See you shortly. Welcome back to the Holiday and Cruise Clinic. It's lovely to have you with us. Now, in today's programme, we're discussing helicopter sightseeing tours, and Duncan McCubbin from the Maverick Aviation Group is still with me. But before I chat to Duncan, this should whet your appetite. Wow, pretty amazing. Duncan, how can we sum up how exhilarating being in a helicopter is? Because there are so many people that are scared and go, eek, not doing it. And when I went in one, it is so exhilarating. And I just wanted to try and sum up what we just saw there.
Oh, that's a good question. It's just an experience that really is very hard to describe. It is the flexibility, it's the whole feeling of it's doing something different. It is almost like a VIP lifestyle. People associate being in a helicopter with doing something that is VIP orientated. It is just the feeling of just going straight up rather than running down a runway to get into the air. It's just totally different to what anyone's used to. It's very hard to put into words.
It is hard to put in words. I would possibly say about that sort of, you're almost hovering a lot, aren't you?
That's fair, yes.
And it's something that's so out of your comfort zone. So if you actually do it afterwards, you're quite proud of yourself.
That's very true. And a lot of people who were nervous will think, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. Once they get off it, they have got a totally different perception. They have been wowed by it and love the whole experience, the whole feeling, sensation.
And also the views and the way that you see it, and the noise of the helicopter, it all adds to the whole experience. It's very, exhilarating would be the word I would sum it up with. OK, let's get back down to my level and celebrities. Do you fly celebrities?
We do fly celebrities. we don't overly shout about it because we are quite discreet, but yes, we fly celebrities. We do all the NASCAR drivers and the IndyCar racers when they're in town for the racing series. We flew recently the band Kiss. We do all the flights for something called EDC, or Electric Daisy Carnival, which is a big club event going on in Vegas. So we do all the flights for those. We've flown Paris Hilton. We've flown lots of celebrities.
So when you say you've flown them, is it that just them going from A to B?
A lot of it is private charters. So yeah, A to
Get
B.
them.
They need to get from the hotel. They need to get downtown, or they need to get to the airport, or wherever. And whatever they need to, we can do for them.
Wow. Yes, don't we all? Now, let's talk about the actual helicopters themselves, because when we see it on the telly, it's like that big noise and everybody's really shouting. And
Yeah.
so can you still hear what the pilot's saying and take it all in and chat to people, or is it just noise?
No, it's very, very quiet on board. It does feel more like a limousine type environment. Yes, you can feel and hear the engines, but it's still very quiet. You can talk to the people who are on the flight with you, because we do have these voice-activated headsets that people use, but also the way the helicopter is designed, back to what I was saying earlier, it's got a certain type of design in the rear tail that means the noise that the helicopter generates is greatly reduced. So it does feel very quiet and inviting.
Does it vary as to how many passengers can go on one helicopter?
All our helicopters will take up to 7 passengers, plus the pilot.
If, for example, I'm not putting it out there for anybody to ask me, but if you were thinking of something romantic, and would you charter it on your own? Is that the word?
Well, that is one way of looking at it. What we basically say to people, if you want to do something special and you just want the helicopter for 2 of you or for a family of 4, then we can work with you on that. Usually what happens is people will pay for 7 seats and then just 2 of them will go, or 5 of them will go, depending on however many is in the party. And we find that's very popular for smaller groups, and certainly if somebody's looking to propose or something that's a little bit more romantic orientated, we do find we get those requests, and we're very easy to work with that.
And when we're talking about romance, I just was thinking of amazing places you could get married. Can you actually get married at the Grand Canyon?
Yes, we do conduct weddings in the base of the Grand Canyon at our landing site there. We have the rights to conduct marriages there. So we do various different wedding packages, and we have people who will work with the bride or the groom to make sure their special day is very special for them.
And because obviously, if you were doing the wedding thing, you would want to take pictures, but if you're just going normally for an afternoon or a morning, you can take pictures, or you could use a GoPro or whatever, could you, as you're going along?
Yes, you can take you can use your phone, you can use a GoPro, you can use a full-blown digital camera, whatever you want to use, video cameras, whatever you want to use you can take, and you can video it from the start right through to the end.
And how long would be the longest flight that you could do?
The usual longest one is the Wind Dancer tour, which is our most popular, and that is the one that lands at the canyon, and that is a 45-minute flight out and a 45-minute flight back, so the whole excursion's 3.5 to 4 hours of a journey.
Let's talk about the logistics of it. How organised do I need to be? Because you told me, what was the figure of how many you do per year?
250, 260,000 passengers a year.
That's a staggering amount of people.
It is.
So I guess you're in demand.
We are.
How organised do we need to be then?
The research shows us that most of the UK population that will go to Vegas will take a helicopter trip. A lot of people do leave it till they get there. That does unfortunately mean that you end up having to take whatever happens to be available. The reality is, if you're going to go, it's odds on you're going to take a trip. Just get it booked early. It helps you with your budgeting with regard to cost. You know you've got it booked for a specific date, and you're not going to be disappointed when you get there. It's just one of those things. Get it organised, get it booked. It makes life a lot easier then.
And once I've booked it, what do I need to bring on the day, apart from myself?
Apart from yourself on the day, we just need photo ID. Passport is the best thing. It has to be a government-issued form of ID, so just bring your passport along. That is all we need. Obviously, we do need to weigh you, as we touched on earlier, but we do it very discreetly. It's not a neon sign flashing up for everyone to see, so it's very discreet, and we do need to weigh everybody, again, because it's part of our safety parameters.
And because obviously each helicopter can only take
a certain, yes.
Okay. I am joking. It wasn't too hideous. It was just that I'd been in America for 2 weeks. I was a little bit heavier than normal.
Aren't we all?
Yes.
After 2 weeks.
After 2 weeks in America, absolutely. What about the family? And if you wanted to take kids, what's the youngest age you could take?
We'll take any age, to be honest. We will take infants. It's probably not the best environment, it's most comfortable for them, but we will take infants. But generally, for children to really enjoy it and experience it, then anything from 5 upwards is probably when they start to remember what they've actually seen and what they've done. But we do take infants, and we can take any age.
Do you get quite elderly people as well? Are they quite brave about it?
They probably have the braver attitude than most, because they're not bothered. They're getting to a point in life where let's just see everything, experience everything, and we've no upper age limits either. So
fabulous. You mentioned Hawaii, and that's the bigger picture. What's going to be happening from there?
We're going to be opening up in Hawaii in the early part of next year. Initially just on Maui. We're going to do 3 different tours on Maui, and that's all very exciting for us because we've been very Vegas-centric up till now. So this is a big step forward for us.
And have you been out? Have you? You know, it must be awful for you.
Well, it's a tough life, but no, I've not been yet. I keep dropping the hints, so hopefully soon, my turn will come, but not yet.
I guess you've done the Vegas trip
yes.
though, many times. If you were just going to do one trip with you, would it be a helicopter or a plane?
I would do a helicopter.
And where would you go?
And I would do the Wind Dancer sunset tour that we do, which basically you depart from the Strip, we fly out to the Grand Canyon, you have your 20-25 minutes in the base of the canyon where you can have your refreshments, and then we leave the canyon as the sun is setting, so you get the sunset over the rim of the canyon. But then as you're coming back into Vegas down the Strip, you're also getting like a night Strip flight as part of the package. So you're getting the Strip at night and you're getting the sunset over the canyon. So yeah, that sort of says it all, and it's the one thing to see and do.
Sold. I'll have that one. Thank you so much for your time.
Problem.
Very, very interesting. Now, just a quick reminder about this. It's our first time guide to cruise holidays and it's absolutely free of charge. Just give us a call, 0871 423 4444. Calls will cost 10p a minute from a BT landline, and other networks and mobiles may just vary. Don't forget, you can also ask for a copy through our website, www.holidayandcruisechannel.co.uk, where you can also get in touch with your questions for future programmes. So that's all we've got time for on today's edition of the Holiday and Cruise Clinic. My huge thanks to Duncan McCubbin from the Maverick Aviation Group, and thanks to you for watching. See you next time.